Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Jerry says, "Hi fans, I'm back." He's kind of missed making these videos, but honestly, him and Nova are having a bit of an issue with each other. So I know. So he's very, very happy hanging out with my older daughter at her new place. But he did want to just stop in and say hello. And to any new subscribers, he just wants you to know that no matter what that Nova whippersnapper does, he is the resident rock star. For those of you new to this channel, Jerry is our three-legged, I think he's 6-year-old, Maine Coon. He rocks. He just knows he's magnificent, and he really expects the rest of the world to understand he's magnificent too. Okay, bud? Bud? Say bye. Bye. Okay, we're going to let you go. Come here. Okay, listen. Are you done? Hey. Okay, so Nova's not exactly thrilled. And we've told... Oh, stop. Don't be a goose. Come on. We've told Nova that there's a new sister arriving next week, but we're not exactly sure how he's going to take that. Okay, so, hello. Let's get on with it, shall we? I think it's going to be January 25th. I'm obviously recording this a little bit early so that all the critters are here with wranglers, so we could get this done. And Tika and Skittles, the puppies, they're having a nap. There's like, oh my God, those cats are so dramatic. So they've just tootled off to go like be zen somewhere. Okay, a couple things. I want to take a look today at the Senate. So there is some shenanigans going on with Mitch McConnell right now, and I don't understand your system well enough to actually understand what's going on. But as near as I can figure, he is sort of holding the Senate hostage. And for some reason, I'm not actually sure that the power of the Senate has actually been transferred to Schumer. So I need some clarity on that, but apparently there's something going on. What I think is happening is that Mitch McConnell does not want to make this transfer of power until Schumer guarantees him that the Democrats are not going to get rid of the filibuster. Now, think back, you nice, beautiful Americans. That filibuster was how Mitch McConnell was able to control everything that Obama did, certainly in those, I think, last couple of years. He really, really relied on that filibuster so that there would never be enough votes to move things forward. And then, of course, you know, in the last, 2 years ago, when the Democrats got the House, well, then just everything died on his desk, and he was, very proud to run around with the name the Grim Reaper. So I'm going to use my pendulum quick, and then I'm going to use my cards to see what sort of details we can get. But I still don't think Mitch is going to be around very long. So let's just start with that. So for those of you who are new, welcome to Soulprint. Thank you for being part of this family. This little pendulum responds very, very quickly. And that back and forth motion that you see tells me that the pendulum is ready to talk to us. And that back and forth motion is yes. And pendulum, please show me no. And you'll see it is now shifted to a round and round motion. You may see a slight tremor in my hand. That's not me. That's energy. Okay, so let's just ask a couple questions. Are the Democrats going to agree to not basically strike down the filibuster? Are they going to agree to that demand? No, they're not. Okay. Is Mitch McConnell still going to be in the Senate, 6 months from now? Mitch McConnell, is he going to be in the Senate come June? No. Okay. Is he going to leave the Senate because it is a strategically smart move for him? Yeah. And see, the reason I'm asking that question that way is because I'm getting some really strong feelings that, let's not forget, his wife Elaine Chao is under investigation for some of the nonsense that she pulled when she was transportation minister. Is that investigation into Elaine Chao going to bear fruit? Sorry, I'm wiggling around here. Is the investigation into Elaine Chao going to bear fruit that is going to bring to light some of her corruption? And is that going to be part of the reason that Mitch McConnell thinks that he needs to bow out of the Senate? Yes. Okay. Speaking of the Senate, we now know that today, on Monday, the articles of impeachment are going to be walked over, sent to the Senate. And the start date for the trial is now been set at February 8th. Is that date going to change for any reason? No. Okay. So that will apparently be the date of the trial starting. Is Donald Trump going to be found guilty by the Senate? Yes. And are they also going to vote to prevent Donald Trump from ever holding public office again? Yes. And when they vote, is that vote going to pass, which means Trump would not be able to run? Yes. So this is the thing. There's a real fracture in the Republican Party right now, right? You've got that group of them who were like, thank God we barely survived the last 4 years with that idiot. Let's try to, get the Republican Party kind of at least back to something that some people would recognize as normal. The other group of them are like, no, Donald Trump is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and we're not going to back down, and we're going to push forward on the same kind of agenda and attitude that he had while he was in office. And so now there's like this really nasty split. And I don't think at this time, honestly, I don't know that anybody actually knows what that's going to look like when it's all said and done. Let me just see if I can think quick of anything else. Are Joe Biden's appointments going to get through the Senate quickly and without issue? Yes. Okay, so we're moving ahead on that, and there should be no trouble. All righty. Let's pull up my handy dandy cards, and let's see what we can find out. So it's not been even a week yet since Biden was inaugurated, but wow, you can sure tell the energy shift that has taken place. And the right wings, they're yicking and yapping. I mean, they're spouting their normal nonsense. They're all of a sudden, it has to be all about unity, according to the Republicans. And their story is, well, that, Biden is saying that unless you believe in unity my way, that's not unity. And that's just a load of crap. But, I guess some people are going to buy it. But I can't help but feeling that really Fox is going to, one of two things is going to happen. Either they're going to become so right-wing radical that they're almost going to lose some of their more mainstream Republicans, or they're going to have to back down. And listen, the Republicans are going to bitch and complain about everything that the Democrats do. That's politics. But there's a difference between that and literally inciting people to be angry and attacking people, and and listen, they have got to stop with all this lying, because they really, really were part of, kind of promoting that ugliness. Okay, so come on down. I have a question. Okay, so tell me about the U.S. Senate. Tell me about the U.S. Senate. Tell me about the U.S. Senate. Okay, well, so let's start. It's broken. Okay, it's just broken. Okay, so the tower here represents the tearing apart of the different fractions within the Republican Party. But it is also talking about people falling from the Senate. Now, maybe that's that Hawley guy, or maybe it's Cruz. But it definitely looks like there's going to be some real shakeups that go on as things continue to unfold. I'm getting February, the month of February, as being a particularly a period of uncertainty, unrest. And again, I'm not getting this as from the Democrats as much as I'm getting this from as a result of investigations that are being done. I mean, you've got committees looking into stuff, but it feels as if there's going to be some harsh recriminations coming down. So that should be, really, really interesting. And more than that, the Senate that McConnell has, ridden roughshod over for the last while, that is also coming to an end. That kind of not only unpatriotic, but more importantly, a Senate that literally doesn't care about the people that voted them in. That needs to get cleaned up, and it feels as if there's going to be some energy or some movement going towards that. But I have to tell you, it doesn't feel like the Republicans are all real excited about this big clearing out. So there's going to be some toxicity going around, and a lot of, just more of what the Republicans have become, and perhaps to some degree always were. They just weren't given license until Donald Trump came along to really let their true colors show. But going forward, there really is going to be more of a balance. But the thing is that the Democrats are very, very aware now that they need to start pushing back with more strength and more force. They can't depend on the Republicans to behave, to adhere by the rules, to follow traditions or norms. And I think that that's where the Democrats have made their mistakes in the past, right? They expected the Republicans to play ball by the same rules that they do. And that's just not happening. And so there really is some soul searching going on and some evaluating going on. And the Democrats are really trying to move forward to find a place where they actually feel like they are in much more solid position. And so, this is the Hierophant, right? So that's talking about trying to create or recreate or put back into play strong institutions that have stood the test of time, if you will. But it's going to take some work, and they really are going to have to do some soul searching and, frankly, stop being Mr. Nice Guy. And again, this is a great time especially people in Democratic states, in blue states, to get a hold of their members of the Senate and say, listen up, don't you back down and don't you buckle to Mitch McConnell. He destroyed the last years of Obama. He's blocked him and stopped him at every turn. And we're not going to have that happen with Biden. So don't you dare back down, or frankly, it'll be your job on the line next election. So there's a lot of that going on. But overall, the Senate is going to be able to move stuff through. The House has a backlog of stuff that they, resolutions and stuff that they wanted to move forward on that are sitting and getting dusty on McConnell's desk. And I guess at some point those things are going to shift to Schumer's desk and he's going to start pumping them out. And there's going to be budget things and money flowing things and that kind of stuff that really is going to put the Democrats in a good position, because the Democrats literally are ready to move ahead and get that money out to the places it needs to be. Not only, people, but businesses, for COVID relief, for all of it. And the Senate is going to be very, very busy really solidifying and moving ahead on some of the big issues, whether it's immigration or, voters' rights or any one of the other 110 things that are a priority, the environment. So there's really going to be some forward movement going forward. And part of what the Democrats need to do is they need to make sure that they're not sort of reverting in any way, shape, or form to kind of a defensive mode. You want the Democrats to stay strong. They were given the majority by a hair's breadth, but they have it. And the expectation is that they are going to get stuff done. So that's good news. There really is, there's going to be a period of time where the Republicans are going to, they're sort of going to be told more than once to get back on their paper, to behave, to start behaving like they are no longer in the majority, to mind their manners. Like they're going to start getting a fair degree of pushback. And not only are they going to get pushback, frankly, from the Democrats, but I think that in some way they're going to get a lot of pushback just from their constituents. And whether those constituents are from their district, or maybe some aren't. Maybe people are just going to say, I've had enough, and I'm going to start flooding, Ted Cruz's office with my thoughts. But however that ends up working, and I can't help but feel that as more information comes out, not only about everything and the people that were involved or in some way aiding and abetting the riots of January 6th, whatever it is, but as more information comes out, it's almost like they're really not going to be able to defend themselves. And some of them honestly are going to have to move away or walk away from where they're at. And certainly they're going to lose, how do I want to say it? Some of the prestige. So perhaps there's some committees where they're not going to, they're going to be removed from. I don't know. But it looks like the Republicans are really in for a bit of a very, very bumpy ride. And that behavior that just blocked and blocked and blocked on the one hand, and then just let Trump get away with every single crazy, nutty thing he did, you're going to see that behavior punished, stopped. Justice is coming down and it's saying, listen, enough is enough. It's time to try to remember that we have our jobs because of the graces and the choices of the people in our districts who vote for us. And as Donald Trump sort of loses some of his hold, especially once they get that vote through where he can't run for public office again. Once that starts loosening up, you're going to see, people doing that backing away. Trump who? No, I don't quite remember the name Donald Trump. You say he was the president. Really? So there's going to be some of that going on. There's going to be some people who are just so, I was going to use the word shamed, except we found out in the last 4 years that the Republicans honestly can't be shamed. But there's definitely going to be people who are disappointed with the trajectory of what their careers look like now and are going to have to be moving on. But do not for 1 second think that this is going to be a cakewalk. It's not. It's going to be a challenge for the Democrats to get these people sort of in line. And again, it's not that they expect the Republicans to agree with every single thing that they do or think or say, but there is an expectation that they will at least behave with some degree of decorum and respect. Yeah, there's just going to be more information coming out, lots more. And from interesting places. Some of it is going to come from the investigation. Some of it is going to come, from House committees. Some of it's going to come, again, from the media. I mean, did anybody catch that story over the weekend about how Donald Trump was going to get rid of the acting attorney general who was only in his job for a couple of weeks when Barr left because he was going to replace him with some guy who was absolutely going to be prepared to bring literally the full force of the Justice Department against Georgia to get them to reverse their electoral votes. And the only reason that got stopped was because other people at the Department of Justice, I guess other heads of departments, said, if you try to do that, we will all quit and you are going to have a disaster on your hands. So there is more to come out. There's going to be more stories that come out. And it's really going to, in the next little while, you're going to see Joe Biden literally getting win after win after win. Stuff is going to start moving out. Yep, there's going to be hiccups, but they're not going to be covered up. And so Joe Biden's star is sort of going to continue to rise despite whatever it is the Republicans do or say. And likewise, the Republicans are going to be experiencing some rather severe and significant setbacks because more is going to come out. It's the same old thing, right? They were in a place of power, and so sometimes people backed away or backed down simply because, they were in power, but they're not. And so there's a shifting dynamic going on there. And there's going to be a lot that comes out. Stuff that was hidden, stuff that was sort of camouflaged, that is going to start being, frankly, illuminated. And people are going to see. So as I was saying, so what you're going to see in the next little while is, Biden's star rising and the Republican star sort of imploding. Yeah. Expect a lot of changes that come through the Biden administration. And I think this has to do with Congress sort of writ large. Things are going to start moving and flowing very quickly. There's also going to be some really interesting partnerships that end up being developed or announced. So I know that, like, for example, Amazon has approached the federal government and saying, listen, we would really like to take part in helping get the vaccine distributed because we have the way and the means. So, and I'm not saying that's going to happen or not happen, I'm saying, but those kinds of partnerships are going to be a part of the way that the Biden administration is really able to move forward. And they now have the Congress in a position to be able to help them. It's really, really important that the most important things that need to get done. They're going to have multiple sticks in the fire, so to speak, because this is not the time for them to tackle things one at a time and take it through to completion and then start the next thing. There's no time for that. So you're going to see multiple things happening sort of simultaneously for the next little while. And frankly, like, hey, is that not what government's supposed to do? Just asking. Just asking. I want to, again, just issue a little bit of a caveat or a warning that a lot of those more violent and negative forces that were out there, whether it is the Proud Boys or the white supremacists or the QAnon people, the poor QAnon people, right? I mean, they are just shattered because there wasn't like this big massacre during the inauguration and Trump somehow didn't float down from the sky on gilded wings, saving the world. I don't get it. Anyways, but a lot of those sort of bigger, more hate-filled organizations, they're going underground a little bit. And so it's very, very important that that doesn't get put away. You know, sometimes when you sort of get through something that is really difficult and hard, there's sort of that sense of, oh, could we just close the door on this? And the answer really is no, you can't. Because it's out there and it's going to spend the next 2 years and 4 years building up strength and really, really trying to push ahead with their sort of agendas. But ultimately, if people pay attention, if people stay involved, if people do what they need to do, there's going to be sort of incremental victories for the United States. Little by little by little, you are going to see healing. But healing doesn't come without effort. So always remember that as you're moving forward is, you know, it takes everybody being involved. Okay, so that's where we are for right now. For those of you who took part in the Sunday positive energy circle where we took on COVID and are trying to really send out strong, powerful energy for that, thank you very much. And again, with all of the positive energy videos, they don't stale date. So you can do them once a week. You can do them 3 times a week. You can go back to previous ones and do them, because the energy of the circle simply always meets up with like energy out there in the universe. And it expands and it grows stronger and stronger. And as it grows stronger and stronger, it hits critical mass. And as that happens, real change starts to take place. So thank you for those of you who are involved. Again, thank you to all of my new subscribers, my established ones. I adore you. The comments, keep them coming. Honestly, I've been a little busy. I read all of them and I, work my way through them. But I find that these days I'm just making sort of fewer comments back on the comments. But I read them all. I appreciate them. I am so grateful for them. To the donors, oh my God, thank you so much. Your generosity knows no bounds, and I'm so grateful for that. I am humbled by it. And for those of you looking for private readings, I am booking the end of February into March. And so that's going on there. And if you're interested in that, there is the information below in the description box below the video. All right. So that's it for now. Take care. Be well. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.